All right, ready to dive in. Today we're tackling 55 questions to ask yourself. This book by Manoj Chenthamarakshan.
Lots of you requested this one, so I know you're eager to really unlock your potential, and we're going to help you dig out those golden nuggets from this book.
I like that, golden nuggets, yeah. It's like having a personal coach right there in the pages.
Exactly. It uses these really insightful questions to kind of guide you through self-discovery and growth.
I love that. It's like a coaching session, but on your own time.
Yeah.
And it's broken down into these 8 chapters from self-discovery all the way to celebration. Celebration. I got to admit, that one caught my eye.
Right. Not your typical self-help topic. But the book actually emphasizes celebrating even those small victories to stay motivated.
So it's not just waiting for the big finish line.
Yeah.
More like high-fiving yourself along the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about recognizing those small wins, reinforcing positive behavior.
I can get behind that. Okay, let's back up to the beginning, though. First chapter, self-discovery. Seems like a natural place to start, but I'm guessing it goes deeper than just, figuring out your favorite color.
Oh, absolutely. Right off the bat, it hits you with, who am I? But it pushes you to think beyond the surface, not just your job or where you grew up, but your values, your beliefs, how you really see yourself in the world.
Like looking in the mirror, not just to fix your hair, but to really see the person looking back.
Yes, and it challenges you to confront those limiting beliefs, the ones that might be holding you back. We all have them, those negative voices. You're not good enough, or you'll never achieve that. This book helps you identify those voices and start to challenge them.
So recognizing those self-sabotaging thoughts and flipping the script.
Exactly. It's about creating a stronger self-image. And one really interesting exercise. It asks you to name your top 3 role models.
Now, why is that so important? Is it just a fun little quiz?
No, not at all. When you really analyze why you admire these people, it helps you understand your own aspirations and values. What qualities do they have that resonate with you? What have they achieved that maybe you secretly dream of?
It's like working backward from success.
Yeah.
Right? Figure out what you admire, then figure out how to grow those qualities in yourself. Pretty cool. Okay, so you've done this self-discovery, you've uncovered those limiting beliefs, maybe even found some inspiration from your role models. What's next on this self-improvement journey?
Well, once you understand yourself better, you can start setting goals that really align with your values. That's where chapter 2 comes in.
Goals. Gotta have goals, right? But I'm guessing this goes deeper than just, making a wish list.
For sure. One key point is the importance of a specific time frame for those goals. The book actually suggests 6 months to start.
6 months. That's doable, right?
Yeah.
Not too overwhelming, but still gives you time to make progress. Now, I know I struggle with staying motivated sometimes. What's the book's advice on keeping that fire going?
This is where it gets interesting. It encourages you to really visualize the results of achieving your goals. And I'm not just talking about picturing the finish line. It's about the details. What's around you? How do you feel?
So you're like creating a mental movie of your success, making it so real you can practically touch it. I can see how that would be motivating. But achieving those goals, well, that also means recognizing opportunities, right? What's the book's take on that?
Yeah, that's chapter 3, all about recognizing and seizing those opportunities. And it's interesting, the book doesn't say you have to hunt down these brand new groundbreaking ideas.
So not waiting for a bolt of inspiration to strike.
Exactly. It encourages you to look around and ask, what do you already have? What skills, connections are already at your fingertips? Often it's about using those existing opportunities in a new way.
So it's about resourcefulness. Seeing potential that others might miss. So we've got self-discovery, setting goals and spotting those opportunities, but how do we actually turn that into action?
Chapter 4 jumps right into that.
Yeah.
It's all about bridging that gap between thinking and doing.
Okay, so we've got our self-awareness toolkit, our goals are locked in, we're on the lookout for opportunity, it's go time. What's the book's secret weapon for taking action?
One big strategy is breaking down those big, maybe even overwhelming goals into smaller steps. 6 months, then 3 months, 1 month, even weekly goals.
Like creating a roadmap, breaking that mountain into smaller hills, makes it less scary, and you get to celebrate those mini victories along the way.
Exactly. It's about building momentum. And speaking of potential roadblocks, the book really emphasizes thinking about challenges before you even start.
So like planning for detours on your road to success, that's smart. It's like knowing it might rain when you're setting a running goal so you have a backup plan for an indoor workout.
Exactly. Being proactive, anticipating obstacles instead of getting derailed when they pop up.
I like this. Is getting really actionable. So we've got self-discovery, setting goals, spotting opportunities, and taking action. What else is in this book's recipe for success?
The last few chapters are all about habits, accountability, and celebration. And they're not just tacked on at the end, they're all connected. Crucial support systems for everything we've talked about.
Okay, let's break that down. What's the main point about habits? Is it like making your bed every morning?
It goes deeper than that. It's about figuring out which habits help you reach your goals and which ones might be holding you back.
Right, those sneaky bad habits can really trip us up. So what about accountability? Any tips for staying on track when things get tough?
It stresses building a support system, a mentor, a friend, even a group of people. They can really make a difference by offering encouragement and keeping you accountable. And then, of course, we can't forget about celebrating.
We're back to celebrate. It seems like the book really highlights this, which I love.
It does. And it's not just about throwing parties. It's about recognizing your progress, giving yourself credit for every step you take towards those goals.
I'm so on board with that. Celebrating wins, big or small, just makes the journey more fun, right?
Right.
And who doesn't love a reason to celebrate?
Exactly. It's about creating a positive connection with those goals, making the whole process feel rewarding, not just a constant uphill battle.
Wow, we've already covered so much, and I'm feeling inspired. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll get into some specific questions from 55 questions to ask yourself and how you can use them in your own life.
Welcome back. Ready to dig into some of these questions from 55 questions to ask yourself?
You bet. We've laid the groundwork, so now let's see how these questions can spark some real change.
Okay, one that always gets me thinking is in the self-discovery chapter. What's the most challenging experience you faced, and how did you overcome it? It might sound heavy, but it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, I see that. Not about dwelling on the negative, but about recognizing our strength,
It
right?
does. When we look back at those tough times and how we got through them, well, it reminds us that we've already overcome obstacles, and that can be incredibly empowering when we face new challenges.
It's like, hey, I survived that. I can handle this. Okay. Any other questions that stand out to you?
One that's really intriguing, it asks, if you had all the resources in the world, what would you do? It's like a free pass to dream big, no limitations, just pure possibility.
Wow, that's a great one. It's like a cheat code for life. What would you do with unlimited resources?
For me, it comes down to creativity and connection. Even with all the resources, I'd still want to express myself and connect with others in a meaningful way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget those are the things that really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to goals. Any questions from that chapter that you find especially helpful?
This one's a biggie. What comes next? It's so easy to get fixated on one goal, but this question makes you think long term.
So it's about having a vision for the future, realizing that one goal, well, it's not the end. Maybe just a stop on a much longer journey.
That's right. It's about a life of continuous growth. Now, for actually taking action on those goals, there's a question that really got me thinking.
I'm all ears.
It asks, what distractions or obstacles might you face along the way? Because, let's be real, life throws curveballs.
It's like saying, okay, where are the potholes on this road to success? If you know where they are, you can navigate them a little easier.
Exactly. And it encourages you to think about strategies for those challenges, being proactive, not reactive.
Okay, let's talk about habits. What question from that chapter is key for building those positive routines?
This one's simple but important. How can you stay consistent? Because consistency, well, that's really how you create lasting change.
It's funny, right? We pressure ourselves to have these perfect days, but this question reminds us that it's more about showing up, even when you don't feel like it.
That's it. It's those small, consistent actions that add up.
And I imagine that's where accountability comes in. Having people to support us, that can make a big difference.
Absolutely. This question gets right to the heart of it. Whom will you call when you feel down or low? Knowing who those people are, the ones who can lift you up, well, that's crucial.
Like having your own personal cheering section, right? To remind you why you started and help you back up when you stumble. And speaking of positive vibes, we can't forget celebrating.
You got it. What celebration-related questions stood out to you?
This one made me smile. How can you share your achievements with others? Because celebrating, well, it's not just about personal satisfaction, it's about connection.
I like that. Sharing those wins just magnifies the good feelings, right? And it strengthens those bonds.
We've covered so much ground, but it feels like there's still so much to unpack.
There is. 55 questions to ask yourself. It's full of these prompts that can really lead to growth, and that's exactly what we're going to explore in part 3.
Don't miss it. We'll be back with our final takeaways and some practical advice on using these questions in your own life. Welcome back. It feels like we've just scratched the surface of 55 questions to ask yourself, but man, I'm already feeling inspired.
Right. It's amazing how much power these simple questions have when you really sit with them,
Absolutely. So as we wrapped up our deep dive here, what were your biggest takeaways, anything that really stuck with you?
For me, it's that the book really emphasizes self-awareness as the foundation. You can't set those meaningful goals or spot the right opportunities or even build good habits if you don't really know yourself. It starts with that inner work.
Makes sense, right? Like trying to build a house without a blueprint. You need that strong base.
Exactly. And 55 questions. It gives you that blueprint, the framework. It guides you through that self-discovery, but then it goes further, pushes you to actually take action.
And it's full of practical advice, not just, feel-good quotes. But for our listeners out there, how can they really use these questions? Any tips for making this more than just a one-time thing?
I think the key is to be open-minded and honest with yourself. Don't shy away from those tough questions, the ones that make you a little uncomfortable. Those are the ones that lead to the most impactful insights.
Yeah, it's like holding up a mirror, right?
View.
Might be a little scary at first, but that's how we grow.
Exactly. And you don't have to tackle all 55 questions at once. Pick a few that resonate with you, maybe one from each chapter. Really spend some time with them. Journal. Talk to a friend,
That's great advice. Quality over quantity. Better to really explore a few than just skim over all of them. And I love the journaling idea. Putting it in writing, that helps cement those thoughts.
For sure. And don't be afraid to revisit the questions later on. Life changes. We change. What might have been important a year ago, well, it might mean something different now.
Like checking in with yourself, seeing how your perspective has shifted. It's a good reminder that personal growth, it's a journey.
That's a great way to put it. Those questions, they can be guideposts along the way, helping you stay true to yourself and your goals.
And let's not forget about celebrating. Don't wait for some big achievement. Celebrate those small wins along the way, too.
Yes, celebrate showing up for yourself, taking that step forward. You're learning and growing. That's worth celebrating. Share it with others. Let it bring you joy.
It's about recognizing that the journey itself, well, it's worth celebrating every step of the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, to everyone listening, we encourage you to check out 55 questions to ask yourself. Start your own journey of self-discovery.
And remember, the answers, they're already inside you. It's about taking the time to listen, to trust your own inner voice.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and keep celebrating.